Hello everyone, welcome back for the third session. Chapter name Branch Accounts, subject Advanced Financial Accounting for BCom second sem. In the last session, we have learned about why the branch will maintain books of accounts under invoice price method and what difference will be there when we are comparing with the format cost price method as well as invoice price method. In today's session, we are going to solve some more illustrations. Before that, let me brief you again with the format. So this is the format which is in the books of cost price method. As you can see, we are going to start from the debit side with opening assets, on the credit side with opening liabilities. Whatever the opening date they will mention in the illustration, that opening day, what particular assets and what particular liability will be mentioned in the illustration, that we are going to take on the debit side as well as on the credit side. Next, we are going to enter on the debit side with goods sent to branch. Whatever the goods which will be sent by the head office to the branch, that we are going to take on the debit side. On the credit side, whatever the goods which will be returned by the branch to the head office, that we are going to take on the credit side. After that, we are going to consider two bank account on the debit side. So here we will be considering whatever the expenditure which is happened to the branch. For that expenditure, if the head office paid money, that particular amount will be considered here. Only expenditure which will be paid by the head office. On the credit side, we have bank account which is remittance. So this is the account we are going to record with the income which will be generated by the branch. It may be cash sales or it may be receipts or income received from the debtors customers. And then this particular income which will be given to the head office, whatever the income which will be given to head office, that particular income will be entered here. After that, we are going to close with the opening assets what we have opened in the earlier on the debit side. On the credit side, we are going to close the same assets at the end of the year. On the debit side, we are going to close with the liabilities. We are going to do the total, whatever the balance we are going to get as a balancing figure. If we are getting on debit side, it will be considered as profit. If we are getting that as on the credit side, it will be taken as loss. If you see the format which is under invoice price method in the books of head office invoice price method, the same entries will be there. Only changes, additional 3 entries will be added to this. Along with that, one particular change, whatever the return we used to record on the credit side, that will be recorded on the debit side. Let me brief it one more time. On the debit side, we are going to start with opening assets. On the credit side, we are going to start with opening liabilities. This two will be same when we comparing with cost price. Then on the debit side, the second entry we are going to record goods sent to branch. Whatever the goods which will be sent by the head office to the branch will be recorded. That will be recorded in the inner column. Along with that, whatever the goods which will be returned by the branch to the head office, that will be also recorded in the same place, and we are going to deduct it and we are going to write the balance on outer column. And the next entry on the same side, or that is on the debit side, we are going to record with two bank account. Remember, under bank account on the debit side, we are going to record with the expenditure which is met by the branch, but whatever the expenditure which is met by the branch, for that expenditure the head office need to pay the money. Then only we are going to record that particular expenditure on the bank account on debit side. If I talk about on the credit side bank account, if you see credit side, there will be a bank account. This is the bank account which we are going to record whatever the income which will be generated by the branch. That income will be recorded here. It may be cash sales or it may be received from debtors or any money received through customers. When we are considering those two, we are supposed to check whether that particular income will be handed over to head office. In simple, whatever the income will be given to head office, we are going to record here. After that, whatever the assets we have opened on the debit side, we are going to close it. Whatever the liabilities we have opened on the credit side, we are going to close on the debit side. Then the 3 new entries we are going to record. Why we are supposed to record these 3 entries? In the sense, invoice price, which will be considered as cost plus profit. On that invoice price, original cost of that goods along with that profit will be added. Both of that amount will be considered as invoice price. Now we need to segregate the profit portion. That is the reason we are supposed to make 3 entries. In which portion that profit will be included? In the sense, that profit will be included on the stock, which is on the opening stock, and also which is on the closing stock, as well as the goods which will be sent by the head office. On that also, these 3 accounts will include profit. That profit we are supposed to show on the stock reserve account as well as goods sent to branch account. Now, on the debit side, stock reserve account represents the closing stock profit portion, and on the credit side, stock reserve account represents opening stock profit portion. On the same side, goods sent to branch account represents whatever the goods which will be sent by the head office. On that, profit will be included. That will be represented by this account. And these 3 accounts will be calculated based on the profit margin which will be given in the illustration. If they have given the rate of profit which is on sales, you can take the same percentage by dividing 100. If they have mentioned if it is on cost plus or if it is on cost, then you are supposed to take the rate divided by 100 plus rate. Apart from these 3, the next we are going to do the total and we are going to find out the balance. If it is on debit side, it will be profit. If it is on credit side, it will be loss. And rest of the things is same, that is memorandum of debtors account is also similar, will be used under cost price, which will be also used under invoice. Remember, this account will be prepared only to find out the missing information. If you are getting the balancing figure on the debit side, first preference should be given to opening balance of debtors, and then if it is already there, then we can give the preference to credit sales. If you are getting balancing figure on the credit side, first preference you are supposed to give for closing balance. If you are having already the closing balance of debtors, then you can give the preference to the cash. Let me start with one illustration. The Bangalore head office invoices goods its Mysore branch at cost plus 20%. So while calculating stock reserve account, we are supposed to take this rate as 20% divided 20 divided by 120. The Mysore branch also purchases independently from local parties goods for which payments are by the head office, and all expenses are directly paid by the head office except for a petty cash account maintained by the branch, for which periodical transfers are made from head office. Please understand this sentence properly. The branch is going to purchase the goods through a local parties. For that direct purchase which is made by the branch, the head office is going to send money to purchase those goods, and whatever the expenditures which will be incurred by branch, that expenditure money will be paid by the head office except petty cash. The petty expenses which is met by the branch, that petty expenditure which will be paid by the head office periodical way. They may pay in a periodical manner, that may be 4 months at once or 6 months at once, or it may for year at once. From the following particulars show the branch account maintained in the head office books reflecting the branch profit for the year ended 31/12/2014. So here they have mentioned financial year as 31/12/2014, that is the year end. So we are supposed to start with the year starting from 1/1/2014. Then on the table we have petty cash, which is on opening day as well as on closing day. Then we have sundry debtors. Then we have stock on 1/1/2014. The branch is getting stock in two ways. One is the stock which is sent by the head office, and the stock which is purchased directly from the local parties. Both they have mentioned, but you are supposed to remember one thing, that is whatever the stock which will be sent by the head office, for that stock the invoice price will be applicable, not for the directly purchased by local parties. Then we have cash sales, credit sales, direct purchases, returns from customers, goods sent to branch from head office at invoice price, transfer from head office for petty cash expenses, bad debts, discount to customers, cash received from customers, branch expenses, stock on the closing day. We have two stocks, which is received from head office and which is purchased directly from the local parties. Now let us start with the solution. First, you're supposed to find out whether we need to prepare memorandum of debtors account or not. In the illustration, we have opening balance of debtors, but you can see in that illustration we don't have any closing balance of debtors. So that particular information we are supposed to find out by preparing memorandum of debtors account. Here you can see the columns which I have already prepared it. Only thing I need to fill the information. First we will see what informations we are supposed to take under memorandum of debtors account. Only these informations will be recorded. Let us mark what information will come under memorandum of debtors account. So as you can see on the table, first one is petty cash, second one is sundry debtors, that will come under that memorandum of debtors account. Next we have stock, cash sales will not come, credit sales will come under that, direct purchase will not come, returns from customers, that is nothing but sales return, that will come under that, goods sent to branch will not come, transfer from head office will not come, bad debts is related to debtors, it will come, discount to customers, that is nothing but discount allowed, that will also come under that, cash received from customers. Remember, cash received from debtors or cash received from customers are same, that will also come under memorandum of debtors account. Apart from that, we don't have any other information to record under memorandum of debtors account. So let us start with it. The illustration we have, first one as sundry debtors opening balance. Here I have entered it as 25,000. Apart from that, we have in the illustration, that is credit sales we have, that is the amount of rupees 1,30,000. Credit sales, it is on the debit side, 1,30,000 I have entered. Next I have returns from customers, that is nothing but sales return. Whatever the goods which will be sold to the customers, it will be returned, that we are supposed to record as sales return. It will be on the credit side. By sales return, amount of rupees 2,000. Next we have bad debts, amount of rupees 1,000. So bad debts will come under debtors, that we are supposed to record. By the bad debts, 1,000. Then we have discounts to customers. So when we are selling the goods, the discount will be allowed to customers, that's supposed to record on credit side, amount of rupees 3,000. Next we have cash received from customers. Cash received from customers or cash received from debtors are nothing but same, that we are supposed to record on the credit side as cash, 1,25,000. Apart from that, we don't have any other information in the illustration. In the memorandum of debtors account, we have left out with the two bills receivable. Both will not, we don't have any information, that will be nil. As you know, the balancing figure should be closing debtors. So the total is more on debit side, the same total on credit side. I'll get a closing balance as 24,000. Next we are supposed to prepare with the branch account, which is in the name of Bangalore head office. and Mysore branch account, which is the financial year of 1/1/2014 up to 31/12/2014. You can see the format which I've already prepared in the books of Bangalore head office and the financial year Mysuru branch account for the year ending 31/12/2014. Debit side, we are going to start with the opening assets. Whatever the opening balances we have as an assets, we are supposed to consider it. First one, always I'm going to start with the stock. So make a habit always by starting with the stock. Here in the illustration we have stock on 1/1/2014. These two stocks are purchased in two ways. One is received from head office and one is directly purchased by branch. Both the amount will be taken as opening balance. I'm going to enter as 2 stock at branch 24,000 plus 16,000, totally 40,000. Then I am going to start by entering debtors opening balance. In the illustration I have sundry debtors on 1/1/2014, which is the amount of 25,000. That is the second entry. 2 debtors at branch 25,000. And apart from that, in the illustration we have a petty cash opening balance. Petty cash 1/1/2014 amount is rupees 2,000. The third opening asset is 2 petty cash at branch 2,000. Apart from that, in the illustration we don't have any opening assets left out on the opening day of 1/1/2014, as you can see here. And also we don't have any closing liability, opening liabilities also. That is the reason the opening liabilities will be nil. Then we are going to record with the goods sent to branch. In this, whatever the goods which will be sent by the head office to the branch will be recorded. As you can see in this, goods sent to branch from head office at invoice price, which is the amount of rupees 60,000. That we are going to take here 60,000. Less we are supposed to minus returns. We don't have any returns in the illustration. That is the reason it will be nil. Total amount will be 60,000. Next we need to record bank account. Remember, this is the account we are going to record whatever the expenditure which will be made by the branch. For that the head office will give money, that we need to record. In the illustration you can see transfer from head office for petty cash expense. As you can see in the sentence of the starting, they have said that petty expenses will be paid by the head office periodically. That periodical payment they have mentioned here. That is the reason this expenses as a petty expenses which will be paid by the head office itself, that we are supposed to take on the debit side under bank account. Under bank account, petty cash expenses which is paid by head office, amount of rupees 2,500. Apart from that, we have one more expenditure which is made by branch itself, that is branch expenses, amount of rupees 30,000. Again you can see the sentence in the above question, that is payments are by the head office and all expenses are directly paid by the head office except for petty cash account maintained by the branch, for which periodical transfers are made by the head office. They have said whatever the expenditure which may met by the branch, that will be paid by head office definitely. That is the reason I have entered here as branch expenses which is paid by definitely by the head office, amount of rupees 30,000. Next I need to record with credit side bank account. Check once in the illustration whether the branch is paying the money or whatever the income they have generated. If they are paying that income directly to the head office, that we need to take as a remittance and we need to record it as under bank account. If they are not giving directly to the head office any income, then we need to check what income they have generated in the form of cash sales and in the form of any money which is received from customers or debtors. Under bank account, first I'll record with cash sales. Let me check what is the amount. Cash sales, amount of rupees 45,000. I have recorded within the inner column. Next, I need to record with cash received from debtors or customers. We have that information in the illustration. As we can see, cash received from customers, amount of rupees 1,25,000. I need to record that under received from debtors. Totally, they have earned an income as 1,70,000. In this illustration, the branch is doing an expenditure as an independent way. You can see the sentence, branch also purchases independently from local parties as a goods. In that sentence only, they have also mentioned that for that direct purchase, the head office will pay the money. But in the illustration, we have a direct purchase which is the amount of rupees 45,000. But for this direct expenses, the head office not sended any money to meet that expenditure. So that is the reason this expenditure need to be borne by the branch itself. That means from the total income which will be earned by branch, from that total income, the branch need to deduct the expenditure which is not given by the head office. Direct purchase, it is amount of rupees 45,000. This is the expenditure which is not paid by head office, which is met by only branch itself, and for that the head office not sent any money. That is the reason that expenditure need to be deducted under the total income which will be generated by branch. I am deducting that 45,000 and I am taking as total 1,25,000 under bank account. In simple, the branch is generating income through cash sales and received from customers as total of 1,70,000. The branch also met with an expenditure of direct purchase which is made by branch independently, that is 45,000. This 45,000 is not paid by the head office. That is the reason the branch is deducting that money with the total income. Next, we need to close with the assets. Whatever the assets we have opened, that we are supposed to close. First one is a stock at branch. In the illustration you can see in the last we have a stock on 31/12/2014, which is both the ways, which is one is given by head office and one is purchased directly from the branch itself, totally 30,000. Next, debtors, as we are not having any information that in the illustration, as we have prepared memorandum of debtors account, we'll have a closing balance, that is the missing information 24,000 that we are supposed to record. Next, we need to record with petty cash. We have in the starting itself with the closing date with the amount of rupees 1,850. Petty cash at branch 1,850. After that, closing liabilities, we don't have any opening liabilities, then we'll also not have any closing liabilities, that will be also nil. Next entry is to stock reserve account. For this we need required with the percentage, that is the profit margin. Here you can see in the question we have a cost plus 20%. So the profit which is given on cost, that we need to take as 20 divided by 120. This profit margin will be used only for the goods or for the stock which will be sent by the head office. That is only on 18,000 we are supposed to charge that profit margin. Closing stock, as you can see, 18,000 which is sent by head office into 20 divided by 1. And this profit margin will be taken only on the goods which will be sent by the head office, because that goods will include invoice price, not the goods which is purchased directly by the branch. And this will be applicable also for opening stock. Stock reserve account, which is on closing stock with amount of rupees 3,000. On the credit side, we are going to record a stock reserve account with on opening stock amount of 24,000 into 20 divided by 120. Remember, it is only on the goods which is sent by the head office. Then we have goods sent to branch. On that also we are supposed to take the profit margin by goods sent to branch, which is 60,000 into 20 divided by 120. After getting that amount, we need to do the total. the total will be more on credit side with an amount of 1,94,850. Same amount will be recorded on debit side, and the balancing figure will be considered as general profit and loss account with a profit and amount of rupees 32,350. I hope you guys have understood this illustration. I have also given one more illustration, as you can see here. This is the question which is 14 marks, which is asked in the year 2018. Please solve this illustration, and if you are having any doubts, mention in the comment section. And thank you for watching.